So I'm Jackie Olden. I've been campaigning about the proliferation of adult gaming centres for about 2 years now, just following my own experience and what happened with my mum.
Do you mind telling me what happened with your mum?
So my mum was really poorly. She'd been diagnosed with lung cancer, so she had like a 7.5 centimetre tumour in her lung. Really poor. She was visibly ill. She weighed about 5 stone. Was in the middle of treatment and had gone into an adult gaming centre. Now, she'd been going there for a couple of years, but we thought we'd stopped it all and we thought she wasn't doing it anymore. And this one day she didn't come home from her treatment. I knew something wasn't quite right. I was ringing her and she wouldn't answer. I thought, no, surely she wouldn't. Well, she's this poorly, she wouldn't have gone there. And I was at my friend's funeral. And so on the way home, I had to pass this Mercer slot shop. So I thought, I'll just go in and have a look. And lo and behold, there she was.
Wow. Was it the same?
The same one. Always the same one.
The same one.
So the staff knew her name, they knew which brew to make her. She'd been going in there that frequently, they knew everything about her. So they'd watched her deteriorating over the years. But I'd been in previously, I'd told them how poorly she was, I'd rung up, I'd begged them for help. And you won't get anything from them at all. There's no care about the customers whatsoever. But she told me that she was only in there because there was so much debt against her house and credit card debt and everything.
That she
she'd
accumulated
so many loans and things. And that time that she went in, she'd gone in with this £2,000 that she had because she wanted to win the money to pay for a funeral. So it was one burden that she wasn't leaving behind. And just to hear your mum talking like that is horrifying. So it wasn't even so much about the money. It's the level of shame and guilt and everything that she would feel afterwards. I couldn't watch her keep experiencing that. But we tried everything. Like, honestly, let me tell you, we back in the day when you used to have to go in with one passport photo and ban yourself from one shop, and we went round all of them, anything that she could get to. But no sooner do you ban yourself, there's another one. So
it springs up.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter, you can change your route home from work, and then lo and behold, there's another one, and they're just everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's the size of these machines. I think for some people, it just draws you in. And I know my mum would say, it was like I was in a daze, and I would just keep feeding 20 after 20 after 20, and it was like she couldn't think about anything else apart from carrying on. And she would say that she would only be able to leave when she had nothing left. And it just wasn't possible for her to ever just get up and leave that seat. Well, she still had 20 pounds in her hand, she couldn't do it.
Your mum, Wendy, she used to work in a betting shop.
This is where it all began.
And I was really surprised when I read about that, because they used to encourage her to bet to try and entice other customers to start betting. So they encouraged her to bet. They triggered all her addiction.
Yeah. But they knew that. So there came a point where her gambling in betting shops had got that bad that she'd said to work, I'm really trying to stop, and I don't, because they used to make her play 100 spins every day on the FOB, the fixed odd betting terminal, in a free play mode, so it wouldn't be your own money. But that still, it just triggers something for some people in their mind, and they can't stop doing it. And it wasn't just her, so almost all of the staff in
so 100 spins every day.
Every shift.
They used to reserve your mum's machine.
So I remember there was a time she told me, got to about 11:30 and she couldn't take any more cash out. She'd reached a daily limit of what she could withdraw. So rather than saying, do you think you've had enough? Do you think you should go home? Like, you've been here for 16 hours. Do you think you should carry on? What they did was they made her a brew. They put the reserve sign on the machine, and they all sat round and chatted for the half an hour until midnight hit, and she could go and draw more money out.
Wow.
And I don't understand how anyone could look at somebody doing that and not understand that this gambling is harmful to them. Had that not been in national media, nothing would ever have happened. There would never have been an investigation from the Commission, and there would never have been a fine.
Wow. And then what happened at the end when there was an investigation?
So they investigated for this period of time. They have agreed with Mercer that it's a one-off incident. Just this one-off, despite all the evidence to the contrary. Because part of what I'd done is I'd gone out and found other people that the same thing had happened to. Really? So there was a chap in Watford, there was somebody in Newcastle, there was somebody in Norwich, and so I presented them all.
Where they'd spent 16 hours.
Spent hours and hours and thousands of pounds, and all these people were trying to, on their own, raise a complaint and getting the same treatment that I'd got. So when I'd finally spoken to this comms person, it was like, well, look, here are 4 people. Like, I'm not a famous
people that
person.
you managed to
exactly.
find.
Yeah, I don't have a huge platform
Yeah.
anyway. You know, nobody
Yeah.
knows who I am.
Yeah.
And yet I've managed to find these 4 people. Why can't you, with all the resource of the commission, why can't you do this? There's loads of ways that you could go and investigate this. And they chose not to, and they chose to just treat it as just a one-off isolated incident. And then somebody else approached me as soon as that fine came out to say, everything that's just happened to your mum has just happened to me.
Wow.
In the same shop, in the middle of Gambling Commission enforcement action.
Wow.
Just under their noses.
In the same
shop, yeah. So in that time, rather than doing anything to promote any safety or to do anything differently, they've installed a pizza oven.
So hang on. So in the same shop, somebody else was there for 16 hours or plus.
I don't know the exact times, but all of his sessions would be 6 hours plus. He'd spent 11,000 over a couple of months. All of this, and again, like we say to them, well, you must surely have noticed this person in here all this time.
Yeah.
Can you show us the safer gambling interactions that you had?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what do you think the solution is?
I think the first thing we need to do, I sat through a licence hearing not so long ago for a new place in Manchester. Everybody hates it. There was a local petition with about 200 signatures. 8 councillors had objected to it. We had all the local businesses all saying nobody wants this. Because of the law and the way that the law's written, they had no choice but to permit it. And this is what I think people don't realise, is that if the council had attempted to say no, if they'd rejected this application, the Adult Gaming Centre would have appealed that to the Magistrates Court. They would have turned up with a team of 10 lawyers and a silk, and they would have eaten the council alive because they can't afford those legal fees. They can't fight back against this. So it would be, from the council's perspective who are voting on it, that money that they would have to spend defending this would be money that now can't be spent on that really deprived local neighbourhood. And so they have to try and weigh up, is it worth us having this battle that we already know that we're going to lose because this is the way that the law's written. And so I think just getting rid of aim to permit is the first thing that we can do. That would stop the proliferation, and I think you're coming from the same place as me, in which we're not saying nobody should ever gamble again, we're not saying nothing should ever be open again. We're just saying let people choose. So if we look at somewhere like Longsight in Manchester, this is not an area where people can afford to go in there and lose £2 every 2.5 seconds. You know, that's £1,700 an hour. That's more than most people earn in a month is being lost in an hour. And this is going to be so harmful to that area. And Manchester Council would have loved to have been able to say no to that, but they can't.
They can't. As you say, we're not against gambling, but we're saying there's enough adult gaming centres in certain areas. We don't need any more.
Exactly. Look at someone like Peterborough, where there's already 8 all clustered together and they just applied for a 9th. Who needs 9 of these all in a row? Like, what does that do to the local area? It just means that nobody who doesn't use them will ever go into that part of town. So I don't know, you're just really isolating. You know, if you were going to open, say, a nice coffee shop, well, you're not going to open it in the middle of these 9 venues that'll give you a coffee for free, are you? Like we said before, if they've got a pizza oven, who's going to open a pizza shop? And so everything that is spent in these places is taken out of the local economy.
Thank you so much for sharing, but also thank you for all the work that you've done and continue to do. And I just think together we are going to end aim to permit.
I believe in
as the first stage. I think we're going to end aim to permit, and that way at least we can get some control back on our high streets, and then we'll tackle all the other issues bit by bit. So that we can have sort of a fairer society.